You're standing in a dimly lit lawyer's office, the air thick with tension, as your own aunt glares at you across the table and spits out the words, "You're nothing but a greedy little brat." All because you dared to ask for what was rightfully yours. But what if I told you, in that very moment, you had a bombshell ready to drop, one that would expose her lies and turn the tables forever? A hidden $320,000 trust fund she thought no one knew about. Stick around, because this revenge story is about to get juicy. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive into the wildest real-life dramas that prove family isn't always thicker than water. Today, we're unpacking a tale of betrayal, secrets, and sweet, sweet payback. It's the kind of story that makes you question who you can trust, even your own blood. Picture a family torn apart by greed, with one young person fighting back against the odds. By the end, you'll be cheering for justice served cold. Let's jump right in. So, let me set the scene for you. Our story revolves around Sarah, that's me, actually. Yeah, this one's personal, pulled straight from my life, with names changed to protect the not-so-innocent. Growing up, my family was like any other, holidays filled with laughter, backyard barbecues, and those awkward group photos where everyone pretends to get along. But beneath the surface, cracks everywhere. My parents passed away when I was just 16 in a tragic car accident. It was sudden, heartbreaking, the kind of loss that leaves you numb for years. They weren't rich by any means, middle-class folks who worked hard, but they left behind a modest inheritance. Or so I thought. Enter my Aunt Linda. She was my mom's older sister, the self-appointed matriarch of the family. You know the type, always organizing reunions, dishing out unsolicited advice, and acting like she held the keys to the kingdom. After my parents' death, Aunt Linda stepped in as my guardian. At first, it seemed like a blessing. She took me in, helped with school, even paid for my braces. But as I got older, things started feeling off. Little comments here and there about money. "Your parents didn't leave much, Sarah. We have to be careful." She'd sigh dramatically while clipping coupons or skipping vacations. I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I mean, I was a kid, what did I know about finances? Fast forward to my 21st birthday. That's when the will was supposed to be fully executed. My parents had set it up so I'd get access to whatever was left once I was an adult. I was excited, nervous even. Not because I was chasing dollars, but because it felt like a final connection to them, a safety net for college or starting out in life. So, I sat down with Aunt Linda and asked about my share. Her face. It twisted like she'd swallowed a lemon. "Your share? Honey, there's barely anything left after all these years of raising you. Bills, food, clothes, it adds up." She waved her hand dismissively, like I was some entitled millennial. But something didn't sit right. I'd seen the original will years ago, tucked away in a drawer. It mentioned assets, investments, even a small property. Where did it all go? I pressed her gently. "Aunt Linda, can we look at the documents? Just to make sure." That's when the mask slipped. She exploded. "Greedy. That's what you are, Sarah. After everything I've done for you. Sacrificing my life to raise someone else's kid. You're just like your father, always wanting more." Her words hit like a slap. I felt small, ashamed. But deep down, a fire ignited. Was I really greedy, or was she hiding something? Now, think about this for a second. Have you ever had that gut feeling that someone's not telling the whole truth? That nagging doubt that keeps you up at night? That's where I was. I couldn't shake it. So, I started digging. Quietly, of course. No dramatic confrontations yet, that's for later. I began with old family papers, stashed in the attic like forgotten relics. Dust-covered boxes, yellowed envelopes. It was like stepping into a time capsule. I found bank statements from before the accident, showing my parents had squirreled away a decent nest egg. Investments in stocks, a retirement fund. But post-accident, the trail went cold. Transfers here, withdrawals there, all signed by Aunt Linda as executor. Curiosity turned to suspicion. I hired a private investigator. Yeah, I went there. Borrowed money from a friend, promised to pay it back. The PI was a grizzled guy named Mike, looked like he stepped out of a noir film. Family disputes are the messiest, he grumbled over coffee. But let's see what we can uncover. He combed through public records, talked to old family friends discreetly. Weeks passed, and I waited on pins and needles. Every time my phone buzzed, my heart raced. What if I was wrong? What if I was just paranoid? Then, the call came. Sarah, you sitting down? Mike's voice was low, excited. Your aunt's been playing a long game. There's a trust fund your grandparents set up, your mom's parents. It was meant for you and your cousins, but get this, it's worth over $300,000 now, invested wisely over the years. And Aunt Linda. She's the trustee. But she's been dipping into it, claiming it for family needs. Worse, she's hidden its existence from you. My jaw dropped. A trust fund. Hidden. I felt a mix of rage and vindication. But how? Why? Let me paint this picture for you. Imagine a secret vault, locked away in some dusty bank, filled with cash that could change lives. That's what this felt like. My grandparents, God rest their souls, were savvy with money. They set up this trust back in the 80s, right after my mom and aunt were born. It was for education, emergencies, a head start in life. Split equally among grandkids. But Aunt Linda, being the oldest, got control when they passed. She never mentioned it. Not once. Instead, she used it for her own needs, a new car here, home renovations there. All while calling me greedy for asking about a fraction of the inheritance. But here's where the suspense builds. I didn't confront her right away. No, I played it smart. Gathered more evidence. Mike helped me get copies of the trust documents, legally, of course. Turns out, as a beneficiary, I had rights. The fund had grown to exactly $320,000 thanks to smart investments. My share. A cool $80,000, give or take. Enough to pay off student loans, maybe buy a small place. But Aunt Linda had siphoned off thousands, claiming it was for my upbringing. Lies. Receipts showed luxury trips, spa days, stuff that had nothing to do with me. Now, imagine if this happened to you. Your own family, stealing from under your nose. Would you let it slide? Or would you plot the perfect reveal? I chose the latter. I waited for the right moment, the annual family reunion. Picture it, a sunny backyard, tables laden with potato salad and grilled burgers. Relatives milling about, catching up. Aunt Linda at the center, playing the gracious host. I bided my time, smiling through gritted teeth as she bragged about her sacrifices. Then, during dessert, I struck. Casually, I brought up the inheritance again. Hey, Aunt Linda, remember when you said there was nothing left? I've been thinking about that. The chatter died down. Eyes turned. She laughed it off. Oh, Sarah, not this again. You're so fixated on money. Greedy, just greedy. That's when I pulled out the folder, the evidence bomb. Printouts, statements, the trust fund details. I slid it across the table. Really? Because this says otherwise. A $320,000 trust fund, hidden for years. And you've been using it like your personal piggy bank. The silence. Deafening. Faces paled. My cousins, there were 3 of us grandkids, leaned in, shocked. Aunt Linda stammered, her face turning beet red. That's not. How did you? I didn't let her finish. I hired help. Found out everything. The trips to Hawaii while I wore hand-me-downs. The new kitchen remodel when you said we couldn't afford college books. Yeah, all from our money. Whispers erupted. One cousin grabbed the papers, scanning them furiously. Is this real? Mom, what the hell? Chaos ensued. Aunt Linda tried to spin it. It was for the family. I invested it wisely. But the proof was ironclad. Turns out, she'd forged signatures on some withdrawals, which crossed into illegal territory. My cousins were furious, their shares had been nibbled at too. We banded together that day, deciding to take action. Lawyers got involved. The trust was frozen, audits ordered. Aunt Linda. She lost control, had to repay what she'd taken, with interest. But wait, there's a twist you won't see coming. During the investigation, we uncovered more. Aunt Linda wasn't just dipping in, she'd altered the trust document slightly, trying to name herself as a bigger beneficiary. Greed on steroids. It backfired spectacularly. The court ruled in our favor. I got my full share, $85,000 after adjustments, plus damages. My cousins too. Aunt Linda. She faced fines, probation, and the ultimate punishment, family exile. No more reunions, no more matriarch status. She slunk away, tail between her legs. Now, let's pause here. Think about the emotions swirling, betrayal from someone you trusted. The thrill of uncovering the truth. The satisfaction of justice. Have you ever felt that rush? Like David slaying Goliath with a slingshot of facts. That's what revenge feels like when it's righteous. But it wasn't all smooth. I lost sleep, questioned my sanity. Friends warned me, family first. But what about when family strikes first? To keep you hooked, let's dive deeper into the backstory. Why did Aunt Linda do this? Turns out, jealousy ran deep. My mom was the golden child, prettier, smarter, married better. Aunt Linda never forgave that. Stories from old aunts trickled in post-reveal, how Linda resented Mom's success, even as kids. When Mom died, Linda saw her chance. Not just for money, but control. Power over me, the last piece of her sister's legacy. It's twisted, right? Human nature at its darkest. And the trust fund itself. Let's break it down simply. Trusts are like locked boxes of money, set up to protect assets. Grandparents put in $50,000 originally, invested in bonds and stocks. Over decades, compound interest worked magic, turning it into $320,000. Magic anyone can tap into with smart saving. If you're watching and thinking about your own finances, start small. A Roth IRA, index funds, stuff that grows without you lifting a finger. But back to the drama. Post-court, life changed. I used my share wisely, paid off debts, invested some, even donated to a charity for orphaned kids. Felt poetic. My cousins and I grew closer, bonded over the betrayal. We started our own traditions, no Aunt Linda invited. And her. Last I heard, she's living modestly, regretting her choices. No more luxury. Karma, baby. Now, for a little engagement, if you're in the comments, share your own family's secret stories. Ever uncovered a hidden truth? Or dealt with a greedy relative? Hit that like button if this story fired you up, and subscribe for more real-life revenge tales. You won't believe the next one. In wrapping this up, remember, Greed can blind even the closest kin. But truth, it always finds a way out. My story's a reminder, stand up for what's yours. Don't let anyone gaslight you into silence. And who knows? Maybe there's a hidden fortune in your family tree waiting to be claimed. Stay curious, stay vigilant. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video. Peace out.